Did you guys know that I spent high school super underweight? And guess what? The boobs still didn't go away. But it's alright, because it was, you guessed it, inspiration for my new novel. Today I'm going to be talking about body image as well as my own experiences with mental illness and eating disorders. So if you've watched my other videos or if you've read my blog, then you probably know that when I was a kid I had a lot of health problems. I spent a lot of my childhood in and out of hospitals. When I was 23, my therapist suggested that this could be a reason that I developed body dysmorphia later in life, the fact that when I was younger I got so used to my body constantly betraying me. And that makes a lot of sense. When I was about 16, I was kind of out of shape and I really wanted to get in shape because I was in marching band. So for those of you who don't really know much about it, a lot of more competitive high school marching bands and a lot of college marching bands that are attached to Division I football teams, a lot of them are very athletic. You essentially have to be a musician and like a high school or college level athlete at the same time. A lot of people might disagree with me on that, but everyone's experience in that can be different. But I knew I needed to get in shape, so I started working out and eating lean proteins and all that jazz. Many of you guys know that I have really bad OCD, and I'm not talking about the kind of OCD where I'm obsessed with cleanliness, I'm talking about the kind where I'm obsessed with numbers and stuff. So obviously losing weight was going to be really fun. And at first it was fun actually. I had all of these pages where I'd written all this math and I wrote down like my daily calorie intake and how much fat and carbs I ate that day and how many calories I burned and what workouts I did. But it got to the point where I had like all these pages just filled with numbers and it looked like the ramblings of an insane person and I just could not stop. I got to the point where I became obsessed with those numbers, as those with OCD tend to do. And anyone who fucked with my numbers was dead to me. I remember this one time my mom made this frozen pizza and she cut it into 6ths instead of 8ths, but I thought she cut it into 8ths, so I did my numbers thinking she cut the pizza into 8ths, and when I found out that she had actually cut it into 6ths, I lost my shit. I even started crying in a movie theater hours later because I still wasn't over the fact that my numbers were messed up. So as a result of all of this obsessiveness, you guys can probably guess what happened next. I got skinny! I'm talking like next level skinny, like bones, like rib cage and hip bones looking like they're about to pierce through your skin kind of skinny, like constantly freezing and shivering even when it's 80 degrees outside kind of skinny, like you can't go to a pool party because your feet are gonna go numb from having to be in the water for a second kind of skinny. Like my lips would randomly turn purple sometimes, and this was like a decade before I started wearing purple lipstick. Like I was skinny. And so as you guys probably remember from some of my other videos, I have scoliosis as well, which means my spine's twisted. So as a result, my hip bones are not even with each other, they're tilted. So when I got really skinny, one of my hip bones would stick out really far and look like it was about to break the skin, while the other one had this like cute little squishy layer of fat still around it. But I didn't think that little layer of fat was cute. I had to destroy it! And of course, throughout all of this fun, the boobs still didn't go away. If anyone wants to give me $5,000 for breast reduction, comment below please. So I looked like what some people would refer to as a basketball on sticks. Giant boobies with 2 sticks thin little legs. Over time, through therapy and through tough love and through my mom baking these cookies that I just physically could not resist, and through the realization that I actually wasn't in shape and I wasn't strong at all, I eventually was able to start gaining the weight back. Since then, I've gained about 40 pounds, and since college, I've been able to remain within the healthy weight range. While I was in college, there was actually a period where I did get really strong and muscular as well. Of course, that period is now over because the game Splatoon came out the week before I graduated, and I suddenly discovered that video games are more fun than working out. But even for years after, the body dysmorphia still persisted. I just was not capable of seeing myself the way I actually looked. I was constantly saying things like, oh my god, I look so fat, I look so huge. And a lot of people thought that I was fishing for compliments or that I was making this up, but I wasn't. Like, I genuinely just couldn't see myself accurately. It wasn't until I was 23 and I finally got medicated for OCD that I suddenly started to see myself the way other people saw me, and it was magical. Now looking back, I just kind of wish I never felt the need to care about my body so much. Like, I wish I could have just felt neutral on everything. I know that body image can be a huge point of conflict for a lot of young women. Over the years, I've come to discover that, like, if women want to take pride in how they look and they want to make themselves really conventionally beautiful, then they should. Some women don't want to be attractive, they don't really care about it, then they shouldn't have to. And that's partially what I want to address in my new novel, Sculpt Yourself. So Sculpt Yourself features characters with a variety of different body types. The main character, Amber, is naturally stick thin and naturally has a very flat chest. Her sister, Judy, is naturally kind of overweight and she doesn't have the boobs or butt she wants though. And then Amber's new girlfriend, Kelly, is kind of in between. Amber faces a lot of internal conflict because as a hardcore feminist, she thinks that women shouldn't be judged based on their appearance, but at the same time, she's completely captivated and in love with how beautiful Kelly is. Then, when the drug Lipomorph comes out and everyone's able to shift their bodily proportions, everything is suddenly different. Judy's able to give herself a perfect hourglass figure with giant boobs and a huge butt, but then later in the story, Judy meets another character who's very fat positive. Basically, I want this novel to show that all different types of body types should be celebrated. I also want to show that your body doesn't have to be your biggest concern, but it can be. Like, if you're interested in bodybuilding or interested in getting fit and you're athletic, like, whatever, your body can be your biggest concern if you want it to, but it doesn't have to be. I want to show that all of this should be about personal choice and every woman should do what makes her happy. So this is actually the last video in my series about how different things in my life have influenced Sculpt Yourself. I'm going to be dropping the book trailer for Sculpt Yourself next week, so be on the lookout for that. If you liked this video, please do subscribe. I will see you guys next week. Bye!